good, YouTube? You guys have waited long enough. I'm finally making this video addressing the comments and questions of the King Fritz theory video. More specifically, the King Fritz is the reason pure titans eat humans theory video. That video has just absolutely blown up on my channel and is largely the reason I was actually just able to make it to 1,000 subscribers in such a short time. I know that there has been a lot of questions in the comments and plot holes that are being addressed, and I'm glad that there's a huge discussion on all of that. But at the same time, I was sitting here waiting, and I was actually reading a lot of the comments, and I just didn't respond to them. I wanted to respond to them, a lot of them, because a lot of them were just saying I was wrong. And I'm not one who sits back seeing comments that saying I'm wrong on something and think nothing about it. No, instead I actually was thinking about a lot of responses to a lot of these comments, and for the most part, for some of them, I was actually just typing out like a full reasonable response, but then I stopped myself. I stopped myself from answering a lot of these questions just so that I could address most, if not all of them, in this video right here for you guys. It was painful though. I will say that it was painful not to respond to comments. I don't like not responding to comments that clearly question what I just presented to you guys. Of course, if you had no questions or comments about the theory video and you think you got it pretty well, then you don't really need to watch this video. But if you have watched the video and you're kind of confused, maybe you agree with some of the questioning comments, then stick around. I will answer most, if not all, of those questions. One was about the Hallucigenia and how you pronounce the Hallucigenia. I know that I actually said it wrong in the video. My pronunciation of the weird spinal creature was actually wrong. I didn't figure this out until after I had all of the editing done. I looked it up and I was like, wait, what? I was wrong. I'm wrong. And I was gonna make a comment about it at the end of the video, but then I also just forgot to do that too. Here's actually how you pronounce the word.
Hallucigenia.
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 Hallucigenia. Yeah. And it sounds weirder than hallucigenia, but Hallucigenia is how you say it. I'm probably gonna stick with Hallucigenia, even though I know it's wrong. It's just what I said in the video, and it's what I will just continue to use, because why not? Another comment was about the Hallucigenia or Hallucigenia actually being an alien or not. I made this small little joke where the alien ship zooms into the panel, and it was just about the Hallucigenia. But actually, yes, the Hallucigenia is not actually an alien. I don't know if it was confusing for anyone in the video. It was just a small joke, but it was more like, it's more supposed to be like a god-like creature, at least how they did it in the anime. One of your comments says that it was a real life animal that existed in the Cambrian period of, I don't want to butcher the word. Well, it basically means it existed before mammals and dinosaurs and whatnot. Basically, I'm pretty sure Isayama's trying to make this like a god of this world. And I'm pretty sure the real actual creature did not have any of these titan abilities, and they couldn't just give the gift of gods to humans. So I just, I combined those two facts, an animal and having godlike powers. If I saw like a pig doing like the supernatural, like flying or titan shifting or something, I would say it's an alien. I'm just, connecting stones here. You could say it's an alien. Like, if I saw the Hallucigenia, I would say it's an alien. In actuality, it was just a creature like god of Attack on Titan verse. So I don't know what to say about that. It is not an alien, but it's just something that is like undefined, or it's supernatural. It's like it's the unknown, and you fear the unknown, that sort of thing. And the aliens are unknown, you fear aliens, whatnot. But no, yeah, I'm pretty sure this creature came into existence on Earth. Another comment, or I should say many comments that like might have gotten confused, or no, most definitely got confused, is when Ymir died. I know I don't think I made it like really clear of when I think Ymir died in the theory video. A lot of people confused when I said she had to have been alive and getting eaten by her daughters for the actual power transfer to work, as that she was alive when the whole thing was happening, so that she died right there. No, I actually think that she died when the spear pierced her body and she closed her eyes at that very time. I think that once she created the paths dimension, she was dead. She was away from this verse, from the world of the living. But I get why that would be confusing, because that would kind of take away from the whole how of the theory. I realized when I made the theory video, or after I made the theory video, I didn't really address like how King Fritz causing cannibalism and all that sort of stuff would work. There wasn't really a huge connection other than he made his daughters eat Ymir. I never really addressed like how that would work, but now I do have a clear answer for you guys, which I will get to in a second. A lot of the comments and concerns about questions really stemmed off like this huge misunderstanding, because I did leave this video open for misunderstandings. I did not really plan this out like really clearly. So especially when I said Ymir had to have been alive for the power transfer to work, I feel like people misunderstood that, and they took their misunderstanding to like a whole nother level. We saw in Attack on Titan that like a lot of people have died, and the transfer of the Titans, they get eaten alive by the Titans, or by the pure Titans, right? But people really confuse that moment of death. I do not believe that they were alive when getting eaten. Of course, most clear example of this was the Warhammer Titan, right? Like the Warhammer Titan, she was crushed. Her body all broke to bits, whatever, I don't know. It was just crushed, right? And what was left was just a pool of blood, which Eren drank. All that being connected to the spinal fluid. I do believe that the powers were still active and they didn't actually transfer through the paths in that moment, because I don't think it's as quick as that. When Bertolt got eaten by Armin, right? I think he died when he was bitten. He was chewed in Armin's mouth, right? But I don't think the powers probably transferred until the spinal fluid, the spinal blood digested or reached the guts or whatever of Armin. I don't think it's as instantaneous as that. The main confusion was that the power transfer is instantaneous. But actually, it's not instantaneous at all. We could clearly draw out the power transfer system with this small outline that labels the timeline of a potential power transfer. We have the first point, moment of death. Anytime before that, they were alive, so this is exactly when they die, right? And we'll label this as point D. That's simple, right? It's easy to remember. D, moment of death. At the end of the power transfer system, we have the moment where the powers get transferred into a newborn Eldian, or a newborn kid. We'll call this point K. In between all of this, we have the interval of when the power is active in the spinal fluid, but it hasn't transferred yet. And we'll call this interval I. We have no idea on how long the length of Dick is, because Dick could vary. I'm not going to put out any unofficial numbers because I don't want to make it even more confusing. Instead, we just know that this power transfer of Dick exists. What can make the interval shorter could be if the body decays and the blood dries up. Like what happens when all of the spinal fluid finally dries up or something. Or if they lose too much spinal fluid, maybe that interval of Dick can go down, right? But Isayama hasn't really given any clear indicator on how long the length of Dick can really be. I'm assuming it's a decent length and it won't just like happen immediately as such. Eren could die and the powers could be still active in his blood for a while until the spinal fluid can no longer be active. I'm fairly certain here that once the blood dries up, the powers should have transferred by then, or if the majority of the spinal fluid isn't consumed in that amount of time, then the powers would have been transferred by then. So what can vary the length of Dick is how much spinal fluid is left in the Titan shifter, right? This could be a long amount of time or it could be a short amount of time. So with Ymir, we have her dying at the spear moment, and I'm assuming a few hours, at least a few hours passed before her daughter started eating at her flesh and yada yada. But I don't believe that the powers transferred before they started eating at her flesh. I think that if nothing happened, the whole system of Dick would have continued and her powers would have ended up transferring eventually into her daughters. But instead, what happened was all of the spinal fluid eventually got eaten, drank, whatever, and that's where the whole cannibalism system starts coming in. This is what Fritz actually did. He unintentionally. I'm assuming he didn't know anything about the whole Titans and spinal fluid, but he got rid of all the spinal fluid that was in Ymir's dead body, which shortened the length of dick, which made it all the way small so that the power transfer happened earlier. And then, of course, the parameter was set, and now we have what King Fritz actually did. He shortened the length of the transfer system, which makes for a more instantaneous power transfer system using cannibalism, which means that the first power transfer system still definitely was through the whole paths dimension, paths reincarnated to newborn, subject to Ymir type of thing, whatever. But Fritz's influence also affected that and created this new instantaneous cannibalistic power transfer method. That is the explanation I feel like I failed to give. Piling on to some of the questions of Fritz theory, some people were questioning the whole power transfer through newborn subjects of Ymir and if that actually was the thing. Some people believe that it wasn't real, like it's a hoax. Like, no, that's not how it works, because Isayama still hasn't really shown any actual proof of when that actually happened, right? There's been no examples of when the power has transferred into a newborn subject of Ymir. So I know that there are people questioning that whole thing, if it actually exists, but I can't really argue that. I can't really tell you if what Isayama's plot points in the anime, what he actually said in the exists in this anime, actually exists. That's a whole nother theory. I'm not going to try and argue all that, right? But instead I want to address the people who still think that Ymir's powers, the whole founding Titans, were still transferred just through the cannibalism alone. That it's just because of Ymir getting parts of her spinal fluid ingested by her daughters. We see in the anime, when the Warhammer Titan dies, that Eren and the Jaw Titan both ingest a little bit of her spinal fluid. It would be crazy to say that the Jaw Titan did not even like touch any of the spinal fluid after actually just being crushed in his mouth. But no, what actually happened was Eren ingested most of the Warhammer Titan's spinal fluid, which in turn caused him to get the powers. So if that whole same thing applies with Ymir, like where you have to get the majority of the spinal fluid for the blood to actually transfer, then it would kind of be weird to come to the conclusion that each of their daughter ingested around the same equal amount of spinal fluid and each got 3 of the powers, because that would mean you'd have to break it up like completely into thirds. They would have to have had just actually even proportions, I don't know, down to like the leader or some shit, which I just don't believe. I don't think that they were precise in eating their mother. I think that maybe one person had a little bit more spinal fluid to drink, you know. That's just me. If you want to believe that each of their daughters ingested like the same amount of food or as the same amount of their mother, then I don't know what to tell you. It sounds more unbelievable or more unconvincing than what I'm saying right now. Now I feel good that I finally have this whole explanation off my chest. I feel like I've been saving that for the longest time. Of course, I do want to answer like some more of the questions. I know some of the questions weren't actually directed at the theory itself. Like some were asking or wondering how the first pure Titan was actually created. And I think this could have been made a lot of ways. There's a period of 2,000 years for them to figure out how to really create pure Titans. I do believe that there was experimentation, lots of experimentation of just the Titans, their spinal fluids, or more specifically, the Titan shifters. Before pure Titans, there were only Titan shifters. Once they got to experimenting, maybe seeing if they could duplicate this power or give more power than just the 9 Titans, they ended up producing pure Titans. That is my belief. This could be the way the first pure Titan was made, just through experimentation and all that stuff. But there's also a possibility that the first pure Titan was made through the Beast Titan or the female Titan. How they can create or summon Titans with their spinal fluid being a part of the factor. Maybe before the whole experimentation, someone just ingested their spinal fluid and then someone eventually screamed and then a pure Titan appeared out of nowhere. This is also possible because of course the Beast Titan has the ability to create pure Titans. And I do think that the experimentation stems down from a lot of like just taking the blood of the Beast Titan, because we see in like Marley and stuff that like they had this serum, they were doing that stuff and they had access to the Beast Titan. in short, for the whole answer of how the first pure Titan was made, I definitely do think comes down to experimentation or accidents. I don't think that pure Titans were intended to be made or intended as a power of the Hallucigenia, but it happened. It was like a mutation, I'd say. I hope that answers your questions. If you have any more questions or comments, I will try and actually answer it in the comments this time. I'm not gonna wait to respond to comments. All right. Otherwise, I hope you got what you're looking for watching this whole video. I'll catch you guys in future content.